What was your first interaction with Joel like?
Ooh. I think
Another
it was
friend of the show. Shout out to
friend of the
Joel.
show. I think it was in passing onto the court. Like, just like a high five and a smile type thing. But I will say, the first time we played, I don't even know if he remembers this, but I do. I still have the lump to show for it. He set a screen, like, he's setting a screen on, I don't know, Tobias. And I was guarding him. And he led with his elbows. And I, like blindsided me, elbowed me in the back of the head. And then just, like, moseyed on. Like, didn't even check to see if I was okay. Like, the practice stopped. Like, and I was like, what? Like, this is the same guy that just smiled at me and, like, was so, like, warm. But, and he has that, and that is Joel, if anyone knows him.
He doesn't know his own strengths sometimes.
No.
But sometimes he does. I remember the first time, so Joel was like hurt all preseason. He was not cleared to play because he was coming off, I think, a meniscus injury from the previous season. And I remember in preseason, like the first practice he participated in, and we were on the same team, and he set a screen on Jared Bayless, and he like swallowed him. And I was so open. I missed it. I might have airballed the shot. Like, I was so open. I was just like, I've never been that open on a ball screen in my life. And I was like, oh, this is going to be an amazing partnership.
Yeah. No, he's one of those guys that, and there's a bunch of them in the league, but like, you love to have on your team and like you hate to play against them.
Yeah. Did you sense a big difference with him this year than your rookie year? Because he came on the show in the bubble, and he talked a little bit about being frustrated early on in your rookie year with some of the whatever personnel decisions, Jimmy leaving, all that stuff, and it seemed like this year from the start of the season on, it was like a different Joel than we saw for most of your rookie year and in the bubble.
Yeah, no, the first year I didn't really understand what had happened or like transpired, so I couldn't really place what he was going through, but it was almost night and day into my second year. Even just anyone who was in and around the gym leading into the season was like, Joel's in the best shape he's ever been in. Like, Joel's been working out so hard. Joel this, Joel that. Like, and he looked incredible. Like, you'd see him out there working out, and he just looked like he's one of those guys where, like, when he's in or out of shape, it's very apparent in his body. And you could just see he was on this other type of mission. And I think part of it, from what, like, my understanding was like having a kid, was like it kind of sparked that, like, whatever it was that was frustrating him the year before is not actually relevant. Like, I have a life. I just brought it. Like, I mean, whatever it meant actually for him, but I think that was like a catalyst for him and in his change for that. And he just became, the drive that he had was not what I saw my first year.
That's really interesting. I think fatherhood changes us for sure. I agree with that. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to ask him about that.
You should.
I want to his like dominance. Like, it's a little bit of a throwback, I think, in the sense that, he's super skilled. He makes incredible shots from the perimeter. He's a good ball handler, but there's a little bit of a throwback vibe to his game in that he really uses his body a la like a Shaq. And it like almost doesn't exist in our league anymore. It's such a skill-based league and not so much like a brute force league. And Joel is a little bit of a throwback in that sense.
Yeah, he's like a really like a beautiful meld of two eras, like, because he has both. He has the brute force and he has the finesse, and that's what makes him so dominant. But it is like, there's almost times, honestly, as like one of his teammates where you wish that he would turn on the brute force a little bit more, just because there are no answers for that. But that's not always what's fun or what's sexy, or honestly, longevity is also a big thing for him, and that's like grueling on your body. But yeah, there's times like, because we would play opposite minutes. Like, I would be in the second unit, so I got to watch a lot of Joel Embiid highlights during the season, and it was like I would honestly feel bad at times, like, especially when like he's playing through like the whole first quarter or whatever, and second unit guys start subbing in, and now you have whoever's backup center subbing in to size up Joel Embiid, and Joe feeds off that kind of stuff.
And he lets them know.
Oh my goodness.
What did you make of you're a rookie and you join a team with championship aspirations, and the franchise player in your first season on the team is getting booed by the home crowd? That had to have been a little surreal.
I didn't get it. Because, people told me, Philly fans are tough, whatever. I had no frame of reference. I had no concept for what that actually meant. So when we got out there and they start booing, I was like, I didn't think anything of it. Because I'm like, well, obviously they're booing the other team. And then, as it went on, I was like, the boos aren't timing up right with what the other team's doing right now. And I was like, these guys are booing. I didn't know what to make of it. It honestly is more entertaining for me than anything. Because that's just Philly, and it kind of set the tone for what to expect. But I think it's awesome.
Have you been booed yet?
Probably. I've been heckled heavily at our home games by courtside fans. But
what is the heckling? Is it about you gambling on defense, or is it a shooting thing? What is it?
Yeah, it's like shoot, Thybulle, get up another shot. What are you doing? Stop passing the ball. And I'm like, obviously, I'm settled in at home in the corner, and this is where I'm meant to be for the play. So I can't do anything. I can't defend my honor from this guy standing on the court yelling at me, and then just have to sit there and take it.
That's literally probably my top 3 pet peeve for me. Top 3 pet peeve for me in my career was when I was having, let's say, an off night. Actually, Tobias and I have talked about this before. If I go 5 for 18, that's an off night. If I go 2 for 6, that's you didn't call enough plays for me night. And so when you're a role player like I was for 15 years and like you are on offense now, you're so much of your production is dictated on what plays the coach is calling and the other team's defensive scheme. But my pet peeve is when people in the crowd would be like, JJ, shoot the ball.
Shoot it.
And I'm like, I've got to have the fucking ball to shoot it.
Yes. That's just that's the epitome of fans. They're just they just want to see something, do something cool.
Yeah.
It's
be engaged on offense. And you're like, well, the play for me on this particular play is to stand my ass in the corner.
Yeah.
There's really nothing for me to do here. Yeah. And by the way, I'm not allowed to go to the offensive boards. I never was on any team. My job was to get back on defense. So whatever. It just used to drive me crazy.
You get the one play. If it's not for you, maybe next time.